Welcome to another episode of Diary of a Wannabe Comedian with me, Belle, a wannabe comedian. I'm still in Kent. I'm still relaxing. I'm still very much grey. I have not had the courage to dye my hair yet, but I'm sure I'm going to. I feel I'm definitely going to do it, but just not today. Not today. Maybe tomorrow. Perhaps I'll do it tomorrow. I don't have an awful lot of comedy news with myself. I have got a bit of comedy news to come on. I'll talk about in a minute. Something that I read. Well, something that I'm aware of, and then something I read, and I wonder whether there's a link between the two. So I'll talk about that. But I have done some clay modelling, not the polymer clay that I was talking about. I was just practicing with some air dry foam clay, which is for kids really, but don't tell anyone. I love it. I absolutely love using it. I have an array of snails and lobsters and ladybirds and parrot, you name it. I've got these things made out of this foam clay. So I've done a bit more of that. And I think I'm just about ready to progress onto the polymer clay. As I say, if they're any good, I will show you. If I do it and they're no good, we just won't discuss it. But I just didn't want you to think that I'd made some and I didn't like them. I haven't done it yet. So I haven't. This whole podcast is going to be about things I haven't done. Things I haven't done and people I haven't known and books I haven't read. Oh no, I'm going mad. Right, where are we? Okay, so what I wanted to talk about was I think I may have mentioned it on my podcast, but the Employment Rights Bill that's going through, and well, I mean, it's obviously got a lot of things going on, but there's part of it which is being lovingly called the banter ban. And Lord Young, who runs the Free Speech Union, did try and get this particular clause softened up, but essentially it means that employees have a right not to, I mean, you do have a right not to be harassed at work, but it kind of, way it's drafted, I think it extends to the fact that they could overhear a conversation between people. So for example, in a pub, a bar person could overhear a conversation between two people and get offended, and then that member of staff could sue their employer. So the result is you're likely to have, banter bouncers, basically, who listen in on your conversation and then break it up, I guess. I don't know. But they're going to have to put in more measures. And the reason I'm talking about this is because this sort of extends to comedy clubs. So member of staff working at wherever, top secret comedy store. I don't know any big ones in America. I probably should know who the big names are. I can't think. But it kind of means, I mean, not that our legislation will affect America, but anyway, I'm trying to illustrate a point here. But Comedy Store is quite a famous place. So members of staff could overhear professional comedians on the stage take offence at something, a joke they tell, which affects it has to be a protected characteristic. So that goes back to, gender, disability, race, etc., etc. So a member of staff could take offence because the joke's been told that's effectively about their protected characteristic, and then sue their employer. It is going to make comedy very difficult in the future. It really is. Or it's certainly going to make comedy difficult for promoters and venues and so on and so forth. And I wonder whether this links up to, I noticed that John Richardson, who is a comedian, very successful comedian, he's been on 8 out of 10 Cats Does Countdown. He's, one of the, what do they call it, the captains. God, my brain. And he has now decided to quit comedy and go into teaching. I hope this is not some sort of joke, some sort of late April Fool's joke, but yeah, that's what I saw. It was something he wrote in his diary when he was about 14 years old, that he wanted to be a comedian, and if he couldn't be a comedian, he wanted to be a teacher. Well, he's now sort of saying, I've been a comedian, I've been a successful comedian, and now I want to go into teaching. So he's kind of doing a reverse Greg Davies. Greg Davies started as a teacher and then went into comedy, which, in my mind is the better way of doing things. But it does make me think, is this kind of linked? Are comedians just finding the whole environment too tricky? We're not all Ricky Gervais's that can just get away with, well, not get away with it, but would be so big that it'd be difficult to take them on. Even any of the establishments, it'd be difficult to take them on. Yeah, that's well, I don't really know where I'm going with this conversation, but, that's what I wondered. Free speech in this country is a worry. Did you know 30 people a day are arrested because of things they've posted online in the UK? And that's set to get worse because of the new Online Safety Act bill. But of course, I think this government believes that if you're against that, then you're a friend of Jimmy Savile. I believe that's what they said. Anyway, honestly, this is a mad world. There you go. So that's my news. I will speak to you on Monday and I will let you know if I've done my hair. Much love and gratitude.